Esteemed audience, for those watching us at home, in the country, across the continent, and all over the globe, this is the show that gives you the best of high school debates.
It's the Great Debaters Contest Season 9. We are in Machakos County. I am your host, Esperancia Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru.
In today's debate, we are talking about matters health, and the motion is all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals.
In the proposition, we have the gentleman from Matungulu Boys High School.
And in the opposition, we have Musengo Secondary School. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
We are not toothless dogs who bark without a bite. In case you're wondering, I'm Ronaldo Mambo from Matungulu Boys High School, and I'm here to propose the motion that states all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals. Let me start by defining what are public hospitals. These are hospitals built by the government to cater for those people who cannot access the private hospitals. What are medical services? These are services which are offered by doctors to patients because these services occur in day-to-day lives. What are these civil servants? These servants are people employed by the government to work in government departments. For example, teachers, doctors, judges, among many others. Let me start with my first point. Public hospitals offer good and quality medical services compared to the private hospitals. For instance, most doctors and nurses are employed by the government. This makes them acquire the skills which are meant for a doctor to give them to the patients because they undergo serious and competitive interviews for them to acquire that position where they are. But when you talk about private hospitals, these hospitals are there to just look for money. These hospitals are quacks, even more than quacks, because they are not there to treat you. They are not there to care for you. They are there for your money. So you cannot tell me I should advise a civil servant to seek medical service in a private hospital. Let's take a case in private hospital where a case had gone viral in Shalom hospitals the other day in Machakos branch where a baby 7 months old, hope you're getting me, that baby was injected an overdose of morphine, which was 20 times stronger than the way his body could handle. So if that person had taken that baby to a public hospital, that baby would be given the adequate medical services that the baby could have needed. But when you tell me that I should take a member of my family or a beloved one to a private hospital, it's absurd. It's senseless because I cannot do that. I know it's like taking a cow to a slaughterhouse itself. Let's take another case. What happened in the other day at the river, Shalom Hospital? Nurses watched a mother give birth on the floor. What kind of nurses are those? If you are in that mother's shoe, if you are there, what could you do? You are there just watching a mother give birth, and you are taking tea, you are watching television comfortably. Are you not a human being? What kind of private hospital is that? I admit that these private hospitals, their nurses are like role models. They're even like Huda Monre, but the service they offer, they are senseless. But when you take your people to the public hospitals, they are given the adequate personnel, the adequate medicines that they need, because those nurses and doctors, they have signed personal contracts, which they fear to be sacked. Thank you.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes to give your submissions.
I'm Agnes Wamboi, Musengo Secondary School, in front of you to oppose the motion that says all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals. You may ask, who is a civil servant? A civil servant is a person who works for the government. For example, teachers, MPs, you can name them. And what are public hospitals? Public hospitals are hospitals run by the government. When you say that all civil servants and the president is one among the civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals, do you really mean that the president should seek medical services in some of the local public hospitals we have? That is not realistic. To my first point, Medics in public hospitals are overwhelmed with work. This is because we have many patients going to the public hospitals because in those public hospitals, they don't pay a lot of money like in private hospitals. So due to the congestion of the patients, some of the patients end up dying, and they end up dying because the doctors are still having other patients, and they will die because the doctors have not attended to them. For example, if our president Uhuru falls sick and is taken to a public hospital and he has to wait in the long queue so that the doctor may see him, and he ends up dying, what is that showing? That is not giving us a good image as a country. That will portray a bad image to our country. So I really support that civil servants should seek medical services in private hospital where there are no patients waiting to be treated, where the doctors are free, and when you go there when you are sick, you'll just be attended to. To my second point, in Kenya, every person has a right to choose, to make his or her own choice. When he said that all the civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals, this is like forcing the civil servants to do what you are saying. Let us just stop it and make sure that we let the civil servants make their own choice. If they choose that they want to seek medical services in public hospitals, it's okay. And if they choose that they want to seek medical services in private hospitals, it's okay still. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
We are not trash to be thrown in the trash bins. From Matungulu boys, I'm here to propose the motion that states all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals. And to what the first proposer stated, yes, there's a lot of people in public hospitals, but they just want quality services, not from private hospitals where you get that they do not give quality services, but just want to mince money from these people. And to my first point, I always get bored when I see people speak about medical services. Why don't you just seek medical services in public hospitals where you can get quality and the best and affordable services in the hospital? When you go back to private hospitals, they just want to mince money from the civil servant. A civil servant is covered by the medical covers which are given by the government, where you can get quality medical services which you want. And also, you see that many of the people go to private hospitals because they say that there's many facilities. But I tell you, it is wrong. It's better you go to a public hospital, wait in line, and get the best quality and the best affordable medicines, and also affordable to all civil servants because you are catered for by the medical services. And also in public hospitals, you find that people, while they cannot handle the case, they send you to a higher level of hospitality where you can get the best qualities. Like for example, in Machakos Level 5 Hospital, if they cannot handle the case, they will send you to Kenyatta National Hospital and also offer you an ambulance services which will take you from Machakos to Nairobi where you get further treatment. And they also write a good report where it will benefit the other doctors in the other levels. But when you go back to private hospitals, they will retain the patient so that the patient can pay more money. And also, when the patient dies in the hospital, they retain the body so that the loved ones can pay more on the money and the bill. They always want to mince money and make profit in their hospitals. And that was my case. I rest my case. My name is Bram Mwimi from Matungulu Boys.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
Thank you. My name is Caroline from Musengo. I'm here to strongly oppose the motion that says that all civil servants should seek medical services in the public hospitals. I've heard of some opposers said that in public hospitals, they treat in their best, but in private hospitals, they lack the facilities, or they don't treat to their best simply because that they are after money. It's simple this way. In public hospitals, they work because they are paid after every month. And then in private hospitals, they work because they know they are paid, yes. And money talks. So you can't tell me that they don't work, as in they work because they are paid money, but they work in their best. Because if they don't work, they are going to be sacked for their jobs. This opens the door to my first point. Due to corruption in our country, some public hospitals hire a half-based medical because the country bosses don't have to send a lot of money to employ qualified medicine. For example, they go for nurses who don't have certificates, or they go for nurses with certificates, but they ignore the diplomas and the people with degrees, simply because the ones who have certificates are not going to be paid a lot of money. And as you know, if you have a higher, if you have gone to a higher grade in studying, the more the better, and the more you are going to be paid. And again, unethical practices in the public hospital. For example, in Pumwani, a Governor Sonkol found more than 10 dead bodies, young children, in cartons. Over 20 patients detained in Kenyatta Hospital due to unpaid hospital bills. Would we like our civil servant to undergo such state? Simply no. Again, it discourages the private investors, because private hospitals feel like they feel like they're not supported from the government. So please, just help me to convince the proposers that it's better for our civil servant to have the choice of any hospital they feel like going to attend to that. Thank you.
The proposers have been asked, does it matter which institution we take a patient to seek treatment from if the condition of the patient is dire? Should we really be thinking about private hospitals or public hospitals, or just take them to whichever hospital is closer and prioritize the access to treatment? The opposers, on the other hand, have been asked, with regards to the example concerning our president, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, how else will he know the condition of the public hospitals if he does not seek help from the same institutions? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to respond.
They call me Nyamai Kelvin, and that's my name. And I'm here strongly to propose the motion that states all civil servants should seek medical service in public hospitals. I want to start by answering my friend who was just asked, should we consider the condition of the patient or the institution? One, let me tell you, my friend has just talked about Shalom Hospital, Machakos branch. And for example, your beloved one is a patient. Will you take that beloved one to Shalom, or will you take that person to a better hospital? Yes, you will consider the best hospital that offer the qualified medical services. On to my first point, accessibility. Public hospitals are most accessible compared to private hospitals. I know you may wonder, why am I saying this? Let's put ourselves in the shoes of those people who live in the most remote areas in this country. For example, Lodwar, Marsabit, Moyale, or even Lamu. The hospitals that are easily accessed by those people are public hospitals. For example, let's take an instance of Marsabit, where we have only one public hospital and no even one private hospital. The public hospital that is found in that area is Marsabit Level 4 Hospital. Let's take an instance. A teacher has been involved in an accident in that county. Tell me, is it making sense to take that person all the way from Marsabit to Nairobi looking for a private hospital, and hence we have a public hospital in Marsabit? On the way, that teacher, he or she may die. And hence, if that teacher was taken to Marsabit public level 4 hospital, he might be treated. Let's take a reality case in us. On our way to this place, we passed via Kakuyuni town, a small town, a town that has one public hospital, that is Kakuyuni level 4 hospital. There is no other private hospital. Now tell me, that hospital is situated just in the shopping centers. What is that? Accessibility. That is what I'm talking about. The people of that area can easily access to that hospital. It doesn't make any sense taking that person all the way from Kakuyuni to Tala or Nairobi looking for a private hospital. Private hospitals that employ quacks. Private hospitals that have fake machines for diagnosing diseases. This private hospital is what is killing us. And that's why I'm here again to propose the motion that all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals. The public hospitals that offer qualified medical services. Let me tell you, the doctors and nurses, before they are employed by the government, they go through a competitive interview. So the government chooses the best doctor, the best nurse. That's why I will stand and propose the motion that states all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospital. That was my time, Nyamai.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to strongly oppose the motion that states all civil servants should seek medical services from public hospitals. I'll first like to answer the question that was asked. You're saying that if civil servants do not go to public hospitals, how will they be able to know the condition of the hospital? You can't tell me that someone like an MP or let's say the president is going to every public hospitals looking at the condition. He can send other people. I hope you answered. Also, in public hospitals, medics do not take their work seriously. Let me give you a good example. In Busia, a child was given the wrong vaccine for polio, and now is paralyzed, surely. Is it fair? Also, the public hospitals are in such a pathetic state. Like they're not very clean as compared to the private hospitals wherever they like. Let's take a good example of Kenyatta National Hospital and the Mata Hospital. Surely you can't tell me that they are Kenyatta National Hospital gives more services that are better than the Mata Hospital. Also, I would like to also say that there's a social class. You can't be the same. Let me give you a good example. George Orwell, in his book, The Animals Farm, said that all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. It is very clear from what he said that we can't all squeeze ourselves in the public hospitals, yet we have the ability and we have the money to go to these private hospitals. We should take care of ourselves. If you have the ability, go to the private hospital. And if you don't have the ability, you can still go to the public hospitals. Thank you.
Proposers, you have 1 minute for your final statement.
Before I give out my final submission, I want to correct my friend here. You say that the president can send other people to look at the condition of the hospitals. We chose the president to rule us directly, not indirectly. Forget about these private hospitals. The private hospitals that offer inadequate medical services, affordability, accessibility, and quality medical services is only and only assured in public hospitals. That's why I will still stand strong and propose the motion that states all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospitals. The public hospitals are the best hospitals compared to private hospitals. That was my time. I rest my case. Nyamai.
Opposers, you have 1 minute for your final statement.
Thank you. Back on stage, Caroline from Musengo. It's clear that the president cannot be everywhere as the proposers are expecting him to be. It is very evident that civil servants should not seek medical services in public hospitals. And this is highlighted by what my fellow opposers have just said. I hope that you are convinced of what we have said. Do not struggle to come against what has been said. Do not struggle to come against what we have really said. Civil servants should seek medical services in private hospitals. As you know, we have a choice of saying what we want, and for the private hospitals, they can do whatever they want because money talks. So let them do whatever they wish to do. Thank you.
Agnes, give more examples to support your points. When you were mentioning our president, when you were giving President Uhuru's example, you could have equally gone down to TZ, Tanzania, and talk about Magufuli. There is a time he went to visit his wife in a public hospital, which is a point I expected Brian to come out rebutting. So Brian, understand your role well. The second speakers, you can get your points from the first speakers, and then you come and deconstruct accordingly. So as for Caroline, when you were talking about the dead bodies, the detained patients, I equally expected you to relate your points clearly to the civil servants. I mean, tie your point to the motion. It's like clinching your argument. At one point, I felt the arguments were hanging around there. Abraham, the animal farm example was good. I mean, the aspect of saying if the civil servants have means to go to private hospitals, who are you to tell them not to go there? I mean, you came out so well, but that was during the very end. But you guys have the potential. In order to be good speakers, good debaters, do more research, and you'll have the confidence to come and hammer your points accordingly. Thank you. May the best team win.
When you look at the motion, all civil servants, and I think the definition of terms which Musengo did was it was a very critical part of the first speaker. It's important to look at the critical terms in the motion and define them. Not every word, but the critical terms. So which is the critical term here? We're talking about civil servants. And the question is, who are civil servants? These are who? Government employees, in other words, in a simplified way, is it? So these are the people who are mandated to even take care of our hospitals, everything else. So all these are the people who should be, in fact, I'm using the example of hospitals because we're talking about healthcare and medical services. Now, why should the person who is mandated to take care of my hospital not go to the same hospital? That's the debate. Are we together? Because you should be there to show me that you have already taken care of it very well for me now to go there. And so for the proposers, who is Matungulu boys, all civil servants should seek medical services in public hospital. That was your angle. It is not to tell us the advantages of public hospitals. Please understand that, okay?
After all is said and done, it's down to the numbers. Musengo Secondary School. The judges awarded you 58.9%. Let's give them a round of applause. Matungulu Boys High School. The judges awarded you 59.9%. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations to both schools for giving us a good show and a good debate.
We would like our debaters to remember, whether you win or lose, whether it's good or bad, nothing beats the experience. Keep this conversation going across our social media platforms. The hashtag is GDC for SDGs. I have been your host, Esperancia Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru. Stay tuned.